Hey listener, and welcome to another podcast by Life for Learners I. This is the 16th episode, and today's episode is going to be fun, it's going to be creative, it's going to be something really inspiring if you really look at it, if you really listen to it at the end. And before I start my podcast, I want you to know that if you are an audio listener and you like to listen audio of the podcast, not like you don't have to go on YouTube and watch the whole video, and the video is just a poster. I don't record the videos that much, and I will record but not right now. So if you want to go and if you want to listen to just the audio recordings of this podcast, they are available on Google Podcast and Apple and Spotify as well, and Radio Public as well. So all the links are down in the description. If you want to listen there, go listen there. There's no I'm not forcing you to watch on YouTube or listen on YouTube, and go do that. Listen to this podcast, because this podcast is going to be awesome. I'm so excited for the things that we are going to talk about today. They're so fun and they're so easy. I mean, I wish we were taught this in school. मगर स्कूल में तो हम बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें सीखते ही नहीं हैं जो इतनी यूज़फुल हो और इतनी ईजी सिंपल भी हो, साथ इतनी यूज़फुल हो हमारी डे टू डे लाइफ में. सो लेट्स dive right into it. I want to tell you guys today about a power, a glue that binds all humans. A power that if you use, if you acknowledge, if you know how to use it, you can create connections. How fast? This fast. You can create connection in a snap. You can create connection with humans. You'll just know how humans work and how to create the next level of your communication. Whether you're a salesperson, and whether you're an influencer, whether you're a parent, whether you're a teacher, whoever you are, you can create the next level in your communication. Just communicating with humans. But first, let me ask you, why is communication important? What role does communication have in your life? How do you get your ideas along? How do you know that your idea is just not just you don't just throw ideas out of your mouth, that these ideas, they are just also that they're listened by the receiver, and then not only listened but they're understood by the receiver. How do you make that happen? By clear communication, right? And why do we need to communicate clearly? So that we can help people, so that we can understand people better, so that we can grow as a person, and we can also make the other people grow. We can share ideas, we can create amazing things. There's a saying that goes 1 + 1 = 3. I mean, not mathematically this is wrong, actually 1 + 1 = 2, but 1 + 1 = 3 in socially, not even socially, it's like humanly, it's true. 1 + 1 = 3 as person, that two person, this means, I'll translate it for you, two persons who are working together and they start a business, they start an idea, and these two people, they work together, 1 + 1, each of that individual, they work together, and then they produce the results equal to 3 persons that working together. Because if those individuals, they worked as individually, they could not produce the results that they are producing right now working as a team. So we humans, we need communities, we need teams, we need other people to help us inspire, to help us grow. We humans are dependent on other humans, because that's just life. You need to make connections. Everybody has a basic need for connection. If you know somebody who's very isolated, who's very alone, it doesn't mean that he doesn't have a need for connection. उसकी काफ़ी सारी reasons हो सकती हैं, but one of the most basic reason is that maybe he tried to make connections and then he got hurt. So then he associated massive pain to making connections, and all of the things that we human do is either to avoid pain or to get pleasure. That's the pain pleasure, very simple thing. So we need to make connections, and if we need to make connections, we need to learn how to communicate clearly. We need to learn how to make connection with anybody that we want. And the thing is, if you want to make connection with anybody that you want, be like them. Be like them. Just be like the person that you're talking to. that you are seeing in front of your eyes. Be like that person. And rapport, R-A-P-P-O-R-T, this word rapport, this is the glue that binds all humans together. This is the glue. And when you have a connection of rapport with people, you have a connection of total responsiveness. A connection of total responsiveness means that when you are in a connection of total responsiveness, the information, that things that you're talking about, they're completely received, they're completely perceived, and then understood, and then responded by the person that you're talking to. It's not just that you're saying things and he's not understanding a bit of it, like it's all flying up from his head, सर के ऊपर से गुजरा सारा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. जब आपका किसी बंदे के साथ, when you have that rapport, it is a relation of total responsiveness. And this responsiveness, it's important in communication because you need to communicate clearly. You need to make sure that the message is understood, and then the outcome from the person, the outcome that you listen, is just as much as quality, is as good in quality as the thing that you say. And by the way, rapport is a basic glue. It is just when you're in a rapport with someone, and you can establish rapport with anybody that you want. It's not difficult. It's really simple. I'm going to break it to you in just a minute here. But tell me something. When you're communicating clearly, isn't it just that feels so good too? It's just an awesome feeling that you have, right? I mean, just you feel so colorful, so vibrated. I feel this way when I'm communicating with someone who really understands that what I'm saying is that matches that person, or that helps that person to be even greater. When I say something and that helps the other person, it's the best feeling that I can ever have. And this podcast, if I'm saying these things and these can help you, greatest thing that I can ever have, greatest gift that I can ever receive from you guys. That if anybody of you who messages me and says that this thing is awesome, or this thing helps me, and this thing helped me produce clear communication with my friends, or with my children, or with my if you're a salesperson, with my customers, and anybody, that would be great to me. So actually we're all communicating, but how much do you think words make up of our communication? We communicate through words, of course. Nope, I don't think so. Not really. We don't really communicate by words. We communicate by our body language. We communicate verbally through words. The rest is non-verbal. And words only make up 7% of our communication. Only 7%. The rest 93% is the non-verbal communication, is the body language that you use. It's all that. So if you want to make rapport with a person, what do? You match and mirror them. In NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, this process is called matching and mirroring. And you can gain the trust of these people, of this person that you're trying to create a rapport. And sometimes this experience is so pleasurable that people feel that the person they're talking to is like their soulmate when you do this. So the thing is, match and mirror the person that you're talking to. Match and mirror the person that you're communicating to. Talking is another thing, communicating is another thing. The words that we use for our communication matters as well. When you communicate with a person, match and mirror him as much as possible. Match and mirror everything that you see about him. Like, don't match and mirror that if he pricks his nose, you need to do that too. Don't do that thing, that would be nasty. ऐसा नहीं करना, ये नहीं करना कि वो अपने कोई अजीब सी हरकत कर रहा है तो आप वो भी करने लग जाएं. कभी कभी करना चाहिए, but be thoughtful about it. Of course, I'm not saying कि if he takes his shirt off, you need to take your shirt off too. Not that kind of stupid thing. I'm just saying match and mirror that person, and how to match and mirror that person. I'll give you an example. This process, I don't know for sure, but Dr. Erickson, it's a branch in psychology, I think, Erickson hypnosis. Dr. Erickson, he was a genius, and what he did is really simple. Dr. Erickson was obviously a doctor, and when somebody came to him and he said to him in this tone of voice, he said to him, Dr. Erickson, I have tried everything, nothing works for me, and I think this is going to be a total waste of time. Dr. Erickson would say, no, you have not tried everything. You have not tried this, meaning that you have not tried everything, and I think you should stay and you should take my treatment, because this would heal you. That's how he would say to the person that who comes with anger, and he just really just doesn't speak to him. He shouts at him. He will shout back. And if somebody says that, Dr. Erickson, I have tried everything, and I think that nothing's working for me, and this might not work for me either. So I think I should really not take up your time, and I should leave. Dr. Erickson would go, you have not tried this, so you have not tried everything, and this process, this treatment that I'm giving you, this works for other customers as well, so it might work for you, so I think you should stay. And the person would go, something that's I like about this person, their subconscious mind would go that there's something that I like about this guy. There's something that's urging me to say. And what's that? Erickson did match the person. Erickson mirrored the person that he was talking to. And when he mirrored the person, he created rapport with them. And when they were in the rapport, they were more listening to him. They were more open to the things that he was saying. Now, how do you create rapport? Erickson gave us an example. How do you create rapport? Match and mirror. How do you match and mirror? For matching and mirroring, the basic things that you need to have are keen observations and flexibility. Because if you don't observe what a person is doing, and you're just listening to him, and you're not observing him while you're communicating with him, you don't even know the things that you'll need to match. You don't even know the things that you'll need to mirror. And if you're not flexible enough to do those things, and if you're not confident enough to do those things, you'll not create rapport with them. By the way, you don't need confidence to do this. You don't need massive confidence to do this. I mean, let's first get into how to match a person, and what are the characteristics that you need to match. And a very funny thing is that kal mein characteristics, you see, I stuck kal mein characteristics करने की कोशिश कर रहा था, and I spoke like 3 to 4 times, and then I got it right. I don't know why. It was just my tongue was slipping so much. It was crazy to see that, to listen to my voice. I mean, there's characteristic. I couldn't even say that at that time. Yesterday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is like the day after. Yesterday, I make a lot of mistakes in my podcast. I make a lot of language mistakes. I'm a mistaker. What can I do? You just have to listen, okay? Just have to listen. Getting back on our topic of rapport, getting back on our topic of matching and mirroring, what are the things that you match and mirror about a person? What are the things? I mean, I am talking to you, and if you're just, for example, just suppose that you're standing right next to me, and if you need to match and mirror me, what would be the things that you'll match? First of all, I'm a maniac. Because when I record my podcast, I'm just completely, I'm walking, I'm using my arms, I'm using my face to make different expressions, I'm using my hands completely, I'm using my body completely, I'm just very, very, very just moving. So what will you do if you're communicating with me? If I'm just throwing punches in the air while I am recording this podcast, and if you were just standing right next to me and you had to communicate with me, you'll just throw the same punches in the air when you're recording, when you're just talking with me, not recording. If you're a guest here, you throw the same punches. And then I'll feel like, there's something that I like about him. I don't know what there is, but there's something that I like about you. So rapport is when you match and mirror their body language. You match and mirror the way they use their body, the way they smile, the way they speak, the way they just do their funny gestures, their idiosyncratic gestures. Each of us have an idiosyncratic gestures. Idiosyncratic means idiosyncratic is this something that's very much very personal to you, and there's something that just unique about you. So idiosyncratic means that unique gesture that you have. I mean, I have a lot of gestures. I do this. I can, since this is an audio, if this was a video, it would be very easy to explain to you this gesture that I do over and over again. That I just use my arms very much when I'm recording, when I'm talking, because this causes me not just my mind. It's not जब मैं ऐसे रिकॉर्ड कर रहा हूँ तो सिर्फ it's not just my mind talking, it's my whole body speaking. It's just that congruency, that mind-body congruency, that mind-body connection at its best. And I'm an example of it. So the body language, you need to mirror the body language. And what specific traits about the body language? For example, if you're communicating with a person and you both guys are sitting and he's a little bit leaned to the right, lean to the right as well. Sit in the exact same postures that he's sitting in. Speak in the exact same tone that he's speaking in. For example, we did this podcast. Within the previous podcast, we talked about representational systems, and representational systems are a great way to create rapport as well. We have 3 representational systems: auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. And you have cues to know at which representational system is dominating at this time. For example, if a person is in visual state, he would be breathing, his breathing would be very high and he would be looking up. So if you see a person whose breathing is very high and is looking up and his speech is very fast, speak fast to him. For example, if a person speaks like this, you need to speak like him back. और अगर कोई ऐसे बोलने लग जाता है बहुत तेज से, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कराची वाले बोलते हैं, तो अगर आपको कराची वाले से किसी से बात करना है तो आपको भी ऐसी बात करनी पड़ेगी. That will create a feeling of rapport. By the way, don't imitate accent. Don't mirror accent. Because if you fake it, तो तब तो बेइज्जती हो जानी है. तब तो बेइज्जती हो जानी है बिल्कुल ही. अगर आपने accent आपने fake करने की कोशिश की. For example, I can speak in this accent, but I won't. Because that's not my real accent. मैं अपने real accent में बोलूँगा. ऐसे ही अगर मैं किसी अमेरिकन का या किसी इंग्लिशमैन का from Britain, अगर मैं if I try to imitate his accent, that would be really funny as well, and that won't seem real to me, and then that person would go that this guy is imitating me. This is a weird person that I'm talking to. We don't need to do that. We just need to mirror some basic thing. For example, if a person is visual, और अगर कोई एक विजुअल स्टेट में है, तो सबसे पहली बात यह है कि आप उसको विजुअल क्यूज ही दें. Make him see pictures. Make him imagine. Use words to him like imagine. Are we clear on this? Do you see me clearly? Do you see us? I mean, just use these kind of words in that communication. If a person is visual, if it's auditory, so auditory ka key है that the breathing is even, and the person speaks like when he speaks in a normal tone, just like the way I'm speaking. I'm in an auditory mode right now. So the person who's auditory, you don't make him see pictures. You talk to him in a way, and you speak to him in a way, you communicate to him in a way using your voice, so that the message gets through. And if a person is kinesthetic, उसका ये cue ये है कि the person would be looking down and the breathing would be very low in the diaphragm, and he would be speaking something like this. Because if I speak like this, I'm surely accessing a kinesthetic part inside you, a part that feels, it doesn't listen, it doesn't see, a part that feels. पर अगर कोई ऐसे आप देखते हैं कि कोई ऐसे बोल रहा है, not of course बिल्कुल ऐसे नहीं, कि kinesthetic आपको cues की समझ आ जाएगी. When you just with really simple observations, you can read this. You don't have to be a mind reader like me. I'm not even a mind reader. I'm not an alien. I live on this planet Earth, and I live in Pakistan. So I'm not a mind reader. And by the way, Pakistan में है भी नहीं कोई mind reader. Just saying. मैंने तो कभी तक किसी को नहीं देखा कि जो mind reader हो. Magicians देखे हैं. Magicians तो बहुत सारे होते हैं. तो you don't have to be a mind reader. You just need to have the 2 basic things in order to create rapport, which are keen observation, and then the second is flexibility. Of course, if you see somebody who is speaking like this, speak to him in a way just like the way he's speaking. And if you see somebody who is making these idiosyncratic gestures, make the same gestures when you talk. और एक और चीज़ है eye contact. Eye contact you might have heard that people say that in order to create a connection with someone, you need to stare with them in the eyes for 15 minutes or 30 minutes. I don't know the exact time limit, but you need to stare into their eyes for this long. They're not alien, come on. और अगर if they stare into your eyes like an alien, if they stare 30 minutes right into your eyes and they're just very intense and they're not taking your eyes off you, you stare them in their eyes back, that would create rapport. And if they take a little pause after every while, I mean they say one thing and then they take a pause, they look there, you look there as well. You just look, not at the same exact place, just look around. When he breaks eye contact, break eye contact, and then when he makes it, make it back. So this way, and there could be many more things that you can mirror, and this is something that I want you to experiment with. I want you to experiment with, just observe what a person is doing, how he's talking, how he's standing, how he's speaking, how he's sitting, how is he using his hands, using his eyes, using his voice. Just and mirror them, mirror the exact same behavior inside you. And very fun thing is, most of the time people won't even know that you are mirroring them. I mean, all the time. I do this, and I do this very funnily. I was doing this today with my teacher. I was just sitting with him and talking with him, और मैं ये करते करते सेम उसी पोज में बैठा हुआ था जब जिसमें सर बैठे हुए थे, और वो अपना पोज चेंज करते, आई चेंज माई पोज टू मैच हिम, और ऐसे ही मैं अपना पोज चेंज करता। तो जिस तरह वो अपना पोज चेंज करते, तो और कभी भी ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि किसी को पता लग गया हो कि यार ये मेरी जैसे नकलें उतार रहा है। दिस नॉट नकलें उतारना है। सम ऑफ यू माइट थिंक दैट दिस इज़ मेकिंग द फन ऑफ द अदर पर्सन, या आप नकलें उतार रहे हैं, या दिस इज़ इन नेचुरल। दिस rapport is the most natural thing that you can have. It's a natural human behavior. I mean, when you're in rapport with someone, और इसकी एक एग्जाम्पल ये है कि जब क्लासरूम में देखते हैं, the two friends that they're very close, you might observe that they are sitting in the exact same postures. They are really sitting in the exact same posture. वो एक ही तरह बैठे हुए हैं, एक ही तरह की बातें कर रहे हैं, and this is an example of it. And if you are in a rapport with someone, if you have that very deep connection with someone, not very deep, you don't have to go that deep. It could be just if you have a connection. I regret using that word, very deep. अगर आपका किसी के साथ connection है, then you will feel that you are trying to copy him. और ऐसे नहीं होता अक्सर कि अगर आप किसी को पसंद करते हैं तो आप उसको कॉपी करने की कोशिश करते हैं. You try to make yourself just like him. And you know what is the most wrong term that's ever tossed into the air? Opposites attract. Opposites don't attract. ये chemistry नहीं चल रही. This is real life. This is human behavior. Opposites don't attract in humans. For example, would you like to be with a person who loves to sleep when you love to play, and who loves to play when you love to sleep? Well, how would that relationship go with that person? Or who's just creating this much differences? जब आपका दिल करता है कि हम बाहर जाएं, उसका दिल करता है कि हम अंदर रहें, और जब आपका दिल करता है कि हम अंदर रहें, उसका दिल करता है कि हम बाहर जाएं. मतलब बाहर बारिश हो रही है और आपका दिल कह रहा है कि आप अंदर हैं, वो कहता है कि नहीं हम बारिश में जाते हैं. आपको बारिश पसंद नहीं है, उसका बारिश पसंद है. जब बाहर बारिश नहीं हो रही तो बाहर धूप निकली हुई है, तो वो कहता है कि नहीं जब बारिश होगी तब बाहर जाऊँगा, मैं अभी अंदर ही हूँ. How would you go along with that person? The opposites don't attract. And this doesn't mean that you have to hate that person. I'm being very clear here. Hate no one, because there's a positive intent behind every behavior. Every behavior that somebody shows, that there was once a positive intent behind it, and then it became a habit. तो जो भी behavior होता है वो एक किसी need को fulfill कर रहा होता है बंदे को. तो don't hate him. Even if somebody shouts at you, don't hate him. Don't let that shouting ruin you. Don't let the shouting ruin you. Yeah, this is a complete other topic, and I'll make sure that I record a podcast on this too. But just know this: don't hate anyone. Even if somebody is opposite to you, let him be. There are differences. और ज़िंदगी में कोई कौन सा ऐसा बंदा है जो आपका full ditto copy हो? This is not possible, because human beings are different creatures. You know, human beings are not the same. वो different है. There are some similarities behind humans, and those similarities are the way to connection. They can create bridges of connection. But that doesn't mean कि अगर आप किसी में कोई difference देख लेते हैं तो उसका मतलब ये है कि आप वो connection को तोड़ने लग जाएं. You can just use and focus on the things that are similar, and you can let that person live with the differences that he has, because you have kindness in your heart for that person, you have generosity in your heart for that person, because you love that person. डिफरेंसेस तो बहुत सारे हैं, इससे तो ऐसा तो हम लड़ते ही नहीं कि यू आर ऑपोजिट टू मी, यू आर ऑपोजिट टू मी. एंड यू लिसन टू द वर्ड, इट्स ऑपोजिट, it's not differences, it's opposites attract. Doesn't mean that they need to push themselves apart, or they need to just fight. Opposites don't need to fight, they just need to respect each other. और differences होते हैं आपका, even if you are in a relationship, even if you have a wife, you'll have differences with her too. Doesn't mean that you have to hate her with just those differences, that minute differences. The differences are this big, and what's similar is this big. This big meaning this whole tank of इतना दिल करता है if I could just have this camera recording me, and I can just this big वो मैं बता सकूँगी. I just did 2 gestures. This big mean this very small. This big mean that this whole tank of water. So the differences होते हैं. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि just don't hate the person, don't hate anyone. You don't have, you never look for a reason to hate, because hate destroys and love builds. Love is the number one thing that I believe in. Khair, we were on matching and mirroring, and I want you to try an experiment. Now that you know what to match, what to mirror about a person, there's another fun thing that could happen. If you are mirroring a person, and let's say you mirror him for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes, how much longer it takes to create rapport? Of course, time तो हर किसी के लिए difference होगा. तो आप उसको mirror करते हैं for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and what happens after that? Try and change the way your body language, or try and change anything that you mirrored about him. For example, if he is standing very upright, sit down. And if he has a chair, if that person has a chair too, he would make sure to sit down as well, because you're in a relationship of rapport. And when you create a rapport, you can lead and pace. You can become a leader in the communication, because when you fulfill others' need, other people make sure to fulfill your need too, on a subconscious level as well. क्योंकि आपका वो उसके साथ एक कनेक्शन बन जाता है माइंड का. और जब आप खुद में कुछ चेंज लाते हैं, when you change something, sorry, got a little bit distracted here. I was saying that if you change something about you, you'll see that person changes the thing. It's like you are becoming a leader. It's like you're becoming a leader in the communication. It's a very fun thing. It's a very fun cycle that goes on. So I want you to try this experiment. I want you to go, and when you're communicating with anybody, whoever you're communicating with, match and mirror them for 15 to 20 minutes. How much longer does it take to take rapport? It varies from person to person. Just match and mirror them, and then change something, and you'll see that person change right in front of your eyes. इसकी एक example ये है, a very fun example is कि as a prank, students in the classroom, they wanted to prank their teacher, and they said at 9 a.m. we would all drop our books in the same way, at the same we'll all stand up and drop our books. मैंने यही किया 9 बजे, घड़ी में 9 बजे खड़े हुए सारे ने अपनी बुक्स गिराई एट द सेम टाइम, एंड दैट क्रिएटेड थर्ड ऑफ वॉइस. और अगर अब यहाँ पे एक ट्रेडिशनल टीचर होता तो वो क्या करता, सबको यहाँ पे, या हमारे प्रिंसिपल होता, जो मेरे प्रिंसिपल है, इस तरह के सिमिलर एक बड़ा फ़नी चीज़ हुई थी यहाँ पे, बड़ी सिमिलर. पहली दफ़ा प्रिंसिपल क्लास में आए थे, पहले की बात है, फर्स्ट ईयर, पहली दफ़ा प्रिंसिपल क्लास में आए. उन्होंने कहा कि उन्होंने स्पीच थी, डिसिप्लिन एंड दिस एंड दैट, यू नो, द ट्रेडिशनल जो बेसिक जो फंडामेंटल डिसिप्लिन टॉक होती है, वो सब जो आपने सुनी होगी अक्सर ही हर किसी से अपने स्कूल में या कॉलेज में. तो वो आए, उन्होंने वो टॉक दी 5 मिनट की, और जब वो बाहर गए सारों ने तालियां बजाने लगी, जस्ट फॉर फन. एवरीबडी स्टार्टेड टू क्लैप. और अभी अच्छी बात थी, चलो वो सीरियस बात करके गए थे. द प्रिंसिपल इज़ अ वेरी सीरियस गाय टू. आई डोंट इवन नो इफ़ ही लॉफ्स, नो ऑफेंस प्रिंसिपल. तो वो जब बाहर के सारों ने तालियां बजाने लगे, तो क्या, अब लिसन, वो जो थे, जो बच्चे जिन्होंने बुक्स गिराई, what did the teacher do? The teacher was a genius, and she picked her book up and dropped it just like the children's, the learners, and also apologized. She said, sorry, I'm a bit late. और हमारे प्रिंसिपल ने क्या किया, ही केम बैक इन, ही सेड खड़े हो जाओ सब, नीचे चलो ऑफिस के सामने, तुम सबकी ऐसी की तैसी. ही डिड दिस एंड व्हाट डिड दैट डू, ही इट एब्सोल्युटली जो उस टीचर ने किया अपने स्टूडेंट्स के साथ, जो अपनी बुक उसी टाइम पे गिराई, इट क्रिएटेड अ कनेक्शन ऑफ रपोर्ट. और ये फ्यूचर में प्रूव भी हुआ कि वो बच्चे थे, उनको उस टीचर के साथ जैसे एक क्रेज़ हो गया उस टीचर का कि लाइक वी लव दिस टीचर फॉर सम रीज़न, वी डोंट नो व्हाई बट जस्ट वी लव दिस टीचर. और हमारे प्रिंसिपल के साथ क्या हुआ, नोबडी लव्स हिम, nobody even admires him, nobody even knows that he is there. Again, no offense principal, no offense. और एक जो मेरी पर्सनल एग्जांपल है उसकी ये है कि जब मस्जिद में आप जाते हैं तो मेरा एक दोस्त था, उसने कहा था मुझे, कहता मस्जिद में तो कभी नोटिस किया है कि बंदा अगर पहली सफ़ में कोई बंदा खड़ा है, उसने अगर उसको खांसी आती है तो पूरी सफ़ ही आहिस्ता आहिस्ता फिर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता पूरी मस्जिद ही खांसने लग जाती है. मैंने कहा आई डिडंट बिलीव हिम एट फर्स्ट बट देन आई ऑब्जर्व्ड इट कि ऐसा ही होता है. एंड वाइड और एक इसकी एक पॉसिबल एक्सप्लेनेशन यही है कि जब हम when we pray we are using our bodies in the same way. when we pray जब हम नमाज़ पढ़ते हैं तो सारे एक ही तरह के मूवमेंट कर रहे होते हैं. and this movement creates a connection of rapport with in the whole room. and this rapport, when somebody creates a change in the behavior, for example यहाँ पे वो change किया है, वो खांसता है, when he creates the change, not everybody but those people who are really in the rapport, they follow him too. तो ये इसकी practical example है. This is not something that doesn't work and you might be hearing this the first time I heard this क्योंकि मैंने ये एक ऐसे बंदे से सुना था, क्योंकि अगर वो कहे कि go and jump off this cliff and I'll do that. Tony Robbins, he's my mentor and I love him absolutely, so I trusted in it but still I had a hard time like really कि मैं कहता था कि यार नहीं, this is not possible. Then I started creating rapport. और when you start doing this, eventually it will become a habit. You won't even know that you're mirroring this. It will become an obsession. जब भी आप किसी के साथ when you'll be communicating with anybody, you just start mirroring him for no reason. Just it's like something that happens autonomously. Like it would just happen on, like this is just this program that you will install in yourself. Then it will happen in every communication that you have. And this is the way to make your communications clear, a practical way. And you might have listened to it, you might have think that this is a very good knowledge. It is, but if you don't apply it, there's no use. So apply it. That's what I'm talking about. Go do it with anybody you see, anybody you communicate with. Just try it and report to me back, because I'd love to hear it, that if you created real life results. And this was for today's podcast. It was 33 minutes and counting, and great time for us to talk. And I'll please, if you listen to this much, if you listen this much, if you stick to me in the end, you are great. I want you to go create this change in your life, see if it helps, report me back. And till next time, till the next episode, take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.